What's up, gang? Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to do trees. Now, I'm pretty sure there are a million different ways on how to actually do trees, so I'm just going to show you the way that I think about them, and hopefully that'll help you out. So we're going to start with just this mass of leaves. The first thing that I do is figure out my light source, where it's coming from and what color it is. This helps me define the different shadows and reflections and all that stuff that is present in trees. When I think about leaves as it pertains to like a tree shape on a branch or whatever, I think about them in these umbrella shapes. Now, of course, they're not always going to be this uniform, but it's a good base. Then I go in and use my local colors to just flesh out those tree shapes. I don't want it looking flat. I need some dimension. I need the edges to look like the edges of a bush or something along those lines. I'm also using kind of an in-between color because leaves cast shadows on other leaves, and I want to get that as well. But now that I have kind of my forms here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the different clumps within this mass. Just using the base shadows that I've put in on my own, I'm going to find some variation in the topology of this leaf mass. And then I'm going to go in and using my highlights, I'm going to define those clumps a little bit better, which you can see me doing here. And then I'm also going to define the shadows as well, just making them pop a little more. That way you can see kind of the texture of this bush area. And last but not least is my decorative leaves. These are catching the full saturation of the light source. The more intense, the heavier these brush strokes would be. And that's how I do leaves. I have my base shape, and then I go in and do my shadows, and then use those shadows to guide my highlights. And the cool thing about it is that you can use different brushes for different looks. These are just two of my favorite brushes for trees. I'll link them for you guys so you can use them for your projects. But just to recap, here is kind of my breakdown of my process, at least for the leaves. In the next part, we'll go over the trunks, and then we'll do it all together. But one, I define my light source. I need to know where it's coming from and also the color. The color will help me inform like my highlight colors and things like that, and also my shadow colors. I need to expand my leaf clumps, so I don't want them looking just like flat circles how it was looking at the beginning. I need to flesh out so it looks more like a clump of leaves. And then you need to find your leaf formations within that clump. Try to imagine different clumps of leaves and the topology of all of that, and then embellish your light source. Make sure you're pushing those colors. I think if you can do all that, then you'll have a pretty good leaf clump. And then it's all about just figuring out trunks and branches, which we'll do in our next part. If you want to stay tuned for that, follow along. Thanks.